Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another video, and this time we need to have a talk. You may have noticed that uploads on this channel in particular have been growing more and more infrequent. I haven't been able to put out as many of the videos as I would have liked. In fact, maintaining the entire AMTV network, which, lest we forget, encompasses 3 different channels, has been quite challenging recently. And there's a whole combination of factors that work into that, but there's one in particular that I thought I best come on here and share with you all. The truth of the matter is, over the rest of this year, 2023, throughout November and December, there isn't going to be as much new content, hardly any at all, in fact. And that is because I'm going to be in pantomime. That's right, I am an actor at heart, and I have been cast in a pantomime. I'm going to be in a production of Beauty and the Beast at the Cast Theatre in Doncaster, which of course is my hometown, or home city I should say now. I'm going to be part of the senior ensemble, but I'm also an understudy, so I'm understudying for some of the characters as well. In short, that does not mean I have hardly anything to do. I've got a lot to do. I'm going to be involved in every single performance. There's a lot of lines to be learned. There's a lot of routines to be learned as well, to be choreographed and to be mastered. And we don't have a lot of time to do it. Now, I found out that I was going to be involved with this show towards the end of September. So October, we've only had a couple videos on this channel and the other channels as well. That's because I've been spending a lot of time learning the script, highlighting what I need to highlight, looking at what I can do to best prepare, get myself in a fit and healthy place, because some people think acting's really easy. Pantomime especially is not easy. It's very demanding. You're often in 6 days a week doing multiple performances a day. It's a big tall order, or it can be a big tall order on your health if you're not prepared. So I've been doing everything I can to try and gear myself up for that. So, first off, if you'd like to come see me in pantomime, as I say, I will be on at the Cast Theatre in Doncaster. Our first performance is on the 30th of November, and then we are running nearly every day in December, right up until New Year's Eve. So, from the 30th of November to the 31st of December 2023, you can catch me in pantomime in my lovely home city of Doncaster. It's really exciting for me as an actor. Pantomime's always been a bit of a dream. Yes, it's silly and it's fun, but I think a lot of British actors especially love the chance to get to perform in pantomime. And I've done pantos before, like ones that have toured, say, around schools or other venues like that, but to do a rooted pantomime, particularly in my home city, is a really, really special moment, not least because Cast as a venue is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. So yeah, very special time to be part of that production. But on the flip side, that's the really positive news personally, but I know a lot of you guys might be asking, well, Adam, what is that going to mean for this channel, for the AMTV network as a whole? As I said, things do take a back seat. Panto will be all-encompassing, especially once rehearsals and the performances get underway. My plan, at first I thought, well, what am I going to do? At first I was like, it's going to be a blanket sort of, there's going to be no content at all throughout November and December. But then I thought, hang on, that's a bit doom-laden, that's a bit, casting myself off before we've even done anything. So my plan going forward is this, and I'll go channel by channel. I want to start with AMTV Who, because lest we forget, this year is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, and especially in November already, we've only been in it a few days, there's a lot of stuff that has been announced, like the Whoniverse, like branding, the fact that loads of things have gone onto iPlayer, new releases, new episodes in fact. So my plan with AMTV Who is I want to try and get 1 or 2 videos out about the 60th so far before rehearsals begin, which is sort of like the middle of November. And then when the episodes come out, I do want to, of course, give my reaction to them and indeed review them. I won't be able to do that on the same night as they go out, maybe not even on the following day. It might have to be a few days' time, but rest assured, when I get a moment, I do want to talk about those 3 specials and get them out on AMTV Who. There's also other things as well, like I know in mid-November, sort of my rehearsals are beginning, we've got the Underwater Menace animation coming out. I'd love to do an unboxing and review of that. And then in December, we'll have the 60th anniversary specials coming out on DVD Blu-ray. I'm planning to do the Steelbook, as I normally do. So AMTV Who, there is content lined up there. As in terms of like when I'll be able to get to them to, polish it off, it might not be as instantly as some might like, but it will happen nonetheless. Then I want to move over to AMTV Now. AMTV Now is a tricky one. For those of you who follow me over there, I haven't been able to review every single release that the Now brand has been putting out, and that's for a whole variety of different reasons. Like, it's almost got nothing to do with Panto or anything like that. I'm actually planning, I don't know, when I'm recording this, I haven't made this video yet, but by the time you see this, or at least a few days after, there is going to be a video on AMTV Now, sort of explaining my thought process going forward on that channel specifically. So if you're a fan of AMTV Now, keep your eyes peeled on that channel for when that video comes out. And then there's the main channel, this one, Adam Martyn, AMTV. First of all, I mean, I've got 35,000 of you now, which is insane. Thank you so much for the support, especially the push with the recent documentaries we had over the summer, like the Journey to Colour TV, things like that. That's been really special to work on, and I really appreciate the support that you guys have shown those videos too. So in terms of going forward for this channel, it's a bit more difficult, because in an ideal world, having stuff to talk about for definite is more helpful, because then I can sort of plan it. I would like to talk about maybe some of the Christmas idents that are going to come this year, particularly from, say, the BBC. Normally those drop about, you know, mid to late November, sometimes early December. By that point, I'll be in full swing with Panto. So again, it might not be instantly when they drop, but I'd like to think I'd cover it at some point. I'm tempted to do another scheduling video like I did last year, talking about, you know, what's on the schedules for the main channels here in the UK. But aside from that, I did think, could I, you know, maybe try and squeeze out a documentary during November, December, and I just don't think it's going to be possible. You've got to think, with the with the unscripted discussion videos, I can just, you know, come on camera like this, as I'm doing now, and just wax lyrical to you. However, with the documentaries, you know, there's got to be all the research done beforehand. Then I've got to script it, then I've got to record it, then I've got to gather the footage I need, edit it all together. And even if I did like a little bit every day, bear in mind, once the performances start, we're going to do 2 or sometimes 3 performances in one day. That is a physical toll, you know? So I honestly don't think a documentary is likely for the rest of this year. And I know that may be a shame to a lot of you, because I know you've been enjoying it, and a lot of you newer subscribers came here for that content as well. Unfortunately, that's just the way it's going to have to be. You know, acting is my first love. It's my career. That's what I do. So in any case, when an acting job like this comes around, that takes precedent over any other kind of work. Because bear in mind, I don't just act, you know, I have to make ends meet. I obviously do YouTube. I always consider this to be a hobby, but I'm straddling 2 different jobs, and I'm also trying to, you know, find a new home to live in with my partner. So, you know, there's all these little life things that have come in the last few months. You know, it makes time to focus on YouTube like less and less, and makes it more difficult. So I'm trying my best. I'm really trying my best for you guys. But unfortunately, throughout November, December, the content will remain at this level, maybe sort of 4 or 5 videos a month. It might even be less than that once the performances get going. I can't really say for sure. But I don't want you to treat this as doom and gloom. You know, obviously for me personally, this is a very happy, a very spirited opportunity to be part of a pantomime. It's going to be very rewarding. It's going to be lots of fun. And my only hope is, my only wish for you guys, if you don't mind me asking, is that you stick around. I know sometimes YouTube channels, you know, people come and go because they think, oh, well, they're not uploading, so I'm going to leave or whatever. You know, as I said, uploads will be sporadic, but it would mean the world to me if you guys were able to stick around, keep checking out the content when you can, and just generally supporting the channel, because it does mean a lot. Hopefully, I'll get to see some of you if you decide to come to the pantomime, whether you live locally or you fancy travelling down for the day. As I said, I'm going to be in every single performance one way or the other, definitely as ensemble. Sometimes I might be understudying for someone else, but I will be in that show every single performance of every single day that we're on. But I didn't want to end this video just on that. I've laid out the scorn for you, but I wanted to do something that some of you have been asking me for months now, and I wanted to answer some questions. Now, the last Sunday catch-up went out, was it in March? That's a very long time ago now, isn't it? We're now in November. Again, with the Sunday catch-up, it was just, I didn't have time in some months, or I recorded some footage, but I wasn't really happy with it because I felt I wasn't really giving my all to it. And I think with the Sunday catch-up, I know I tried to revive it, but I really do think it's maybe it did run its natural course when we got to episode 100, let's be real. But I thought, since a lot of you did have questions on that video, I'm going to leave answer some questions here. But since a lot of you did leave questions on that video, I'm going to answer some here. Few things. One, please don't leave any questions that you want, like Sunday catch-up questions in this video. I'm not going to do a follow-up to this. And in terms of the questions I'm going to answer, unfortunately, I'm not going to answer every single one because due to the passage of time, a lot of these questions, some of them are like very timely and they're a little bit outdated now, and I just don't think there's much point in answering them. So I'm going to answer ones that aren't necessarily time-based or focused around one specific event. So, let's see what we've got. We have Poke Yoshi Sonic Fan 1998 asked if I'll be getting Sonic Origins Plus. I was tempted, but I don't really have much time for video games, so I haven't yet. Ranka Petrovic, RU30E, I think I got that right, says, am I going to talk about the history of TCC, which is short for the Children's Channel? I didn't have any plans on it. I mean, if it's an interesting story, might be worth a look in. John Smith, 8906, says, the world's strongest man versus an average lion. Oh, the lion. Come on, nature, man. The lion wins every time. Louis444 says, why did you stop the BBFC age ratings, and are you ever going to bring it back? I stopped them because I thought the intros to videos at that point were getting far too long. Some of the introductions were lasting as long as a minute, and I just think that, you know, things need to be shorter, snappier, get people into it more, so that's why I dropped them. Susie Sunshine 2000 said, since you like Super Sentai, are you also interested in other tokusatsu shows and movies like Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Metal Heroes, etc.? It's not that I don't have an interest, I just don't think I'd have the time to dedicate to them. You know, I mainly checked out that Super Sentai series of Die Ranger because as a Power Rangers fan, I wanted to embrace Super Sentai a bit more, so Die Ranger seemed a good place to start. But yeah, I might check out another Super Sentai. I'd like to see Jetman, actually. That would be quite good. Seamless Shelf 35 says, what's your opinion on the live-action Disney remakes, and what are your thoughts on The Little Mermaid 2023? The thing is, on the whole, I don't necessarily agree with them because a lot of them tend to retread the exact same stuff without any like The Lion King 2019, perfect example. That just was like a shot-for-shot remake without much substance in, you know, to fill the gaps. Some of them, I like the ones that, like, say, it's not a live-action remake, but the ones that take source material and expand news stories. Like Cruella, for example, whilst I didn't think it was necessarily the best film in the world, at least it tried to do something new. I'm not a fan of the remake approach where it's like, oh, we're going to do a shot-for-shot remake. And The Little Mermaid 2023, I didn't see it. Outside Inside 9990 says, what's your video process? As in, do you record some videos months in advance? Oh, mate, I wish I had the time or foresight to do that. No, most of my videos, if they're the unscripted ones, I'll just tend to record them, try and upload them the same day or in a day or so. If it's a documentary, I'll, obviously, as I said, do the research, write, record, and then, but again, release them quite soon. I don't tend to do many months in advance just because, again, time and foresight, don't have it. Time Lord Master 1084 says, given that you feel more comfortable mentioning COVID-19, have you considered doing a documentary looking at the impact that the pandemic had on the TV industry, how various shows adapted to the changing times thanks to Neighbours, how the TV industry bounced back, and how a lot of scripted TV shows decided to address the pandemic? You think it'd be quite interesting, especially since the UK and US were the worst hit. In terms of if we were the worst hit, I'd have to look at the figures. I mean, we were badly hit, but it might be interesting, but at the minute, I don't know. I think I don't really want to revisit the pandemic just yet, even though we all say, oh, it was so long ago. It wasn't that long ago when we think about it, and whilst the idea is interesting, I agree. I just don't think it's something I want to touch on right now. SXMEBXDY Edits says, have you watched the Channel 4 show Utopia? I have not. And can you make the Sunday catch-up a weekly thing? As I said, I think that idea has run its course by now. Evan Marnie 4621 says, what inspired you to make a YouTube channel? Boredom? Probably boredom. No, I'd watched a lot of creators, and I just wanted to try and do that myself, and like I started with collection videos to show off what I had in my collection. It was really just that, I guess. Zachary Gatt says, sup Adam, I hope you're doing great today. I hope I was back then. So my question is, have you heard of this show called Royal Crackers? The first episode is on YouTube, the rest is coming soon on all 4. Never heard of that. Is it worth a watch? David Doom 95 says, what British Saturday morning show do you want to see back? SMTV Live or Dick and Dom in the Bungalow? Oh, definitely Dick and Dom if I had to pick. Absolutely. DXCTR_master says, what event time period would you want a historical Doctor Who episode on? I think the Titanic would be quite interesting and kind of surprised they haven't done it yet. I think when they do events like that, I know they've touched on it before, but disasters have to be handled with a very, you know, they have to be handled well, they have to be handled with compassion and sincerity. In terms of what I'd want, I know it's not that long ago, but I think one rooted in the 80s would be quite fun if they really leaned into like the culture of it. BeanTaz3862 says, do you think that Major League Baseball, is that what it is, could ever gain traction in the UK? Well, I have to give it a go, but I don't know, I don't think so. It's just not it's not a sport we play that all too often. James Cooper 5265 says, my question is, are you in to Ninja Warrior. I've seen the odd episode, but I wouldn't say I'm into it necessarily. James Delboy says, have you seen the film The Deep End of the Ocean? If you haven't, I'd recommend it. I haven't seen it. I'll have to see what it's all about. Jaco Moss 3041 says, if you could only watch classic Doctor Who or modern Doctor Who, which era would you choose and why? That's tough because I love classic Who, it's such a comfort, but New Who obviously is what I got started on. I think just now I'd say classic because it is such a comfort, and I think if I could only watch one, I'd want the comfort one. The Gaming Manageresses 1 says, will AMTV Radio come back? And if so, who will you have for this series? I'd love for it to come back at some point. It's nearly been 2 years since the last episode, but when I did it, as I said, during the pandemic, a lot of people had a lot more free time, whereas that's not necessarily the case now. So I'd like to bring it back, rest assured, but I don't know how feasible it's going to be. The Kyle John 1 says, opinion on the Disney movie Tangled. Oh yeah, great. A really good movie. Underrated, I think, but yeah, really strong film. Titanic Too Tired says, did you enjoy being on the voice chat experience? Oh yeah, great fun. Jeff Davies 6758, have you heard of the band Lighthouse Family? Yeah, I have. Some great tunes as well. Jenny Ann T says, after watching your Doctor Who viewing figure series, it's shocking that so many episodes are missing. Are they recreating all of them? I don't think recreating. I think they're more animating the missing ones, or at least they're starting to again with the Underwater Menace coming, and we can only hope that more are going to follow. GGYT says, a bit late with the questions, but will there be any AMTV community events or competitions in the future? That's something I've never really thought about, but I mean, that could be really cool if I can figure my head around it. Maybe sometime next year. Okay, and those are all of the questions that I'm choosing to answer for this video, so thank you for those who asked. If you asked a question all those months ago in March and I haven't answered them, please don't be offended. It's the ones mainly I wanted to cherry pick an answer for this and give some closure. But yes, that is all for this video. So just to reiterate again, content throughout November, December across the AMTV network is going to be about the same level as this, if not less, due to my commitments to the Panto this Christmas. But rest assured, you will definitely still get an AMTV Christmas message on Christmas Day, and you will definitely get a, here's to 2024 on New Year's Eve of this year. But in the meantime, please do keep supporting the channel. It really means the world. The support has been insane these last few months, and I can only hope that will continue for the rest of this year and into next year. So like this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've said down in the comments below. Subscribe to us, of course, if you're brand new. We'd love to have you aboard. Check out other parts of the network, AMTV Now and AMTV Who. In the meantime, I've been Adam Martyn from AMTV. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, Globe of Reviews, Derek Chambers, Shaun Knock, Daud Khan, Liam De-Maine, Trev Hughes, KarlKR, Ajmac 200017, Daniel Middleton, and Dec KP 20, our AMTV staff members.